Hey guys, this is Sharnael Wolverton. I am doing another video here today regarding what is sponsor, what is enroller, how does all this work, especially if you are doing classes for multiple people or multiple teams, and or doing classes with crossline, or as I like to call them, cousins, because I actually have a lot of people who do meetings together that are cousins. Not technically literally cousins as in the blood, but as far as they're basically like Danielle, Caroline, Nancy, Dana. These guys are all directly underneath me in different legs, but they do meetings together on a regular basis. So I want to address two things today. First of all, what's a sponsor? What's an enroller? And when you're doing meetings together, or if you as a sponsor, as the enroller, are doing meetings for someone on your team, how does it all work with who's sponsor and who's enroller and where to place people and that kind of thing. So I just want to, this is going to be very short, but after this is my third time to answer this question in the last couple weeks, I knew that it was a lot easier to do video. So here's the deal. I'm going to give you a scenario. I am an enroller, and let's say I enroll Bob. And Bob, after talking to Bob, I would like to have Bob do a meeting because Bob knows a lot of people, and Bob's really excited about the oils, and Bob would like to not only invite people, but he wants to know more about the oils himself. Okay, Bob is directly on my front line, or Bob could be 20 people down. It doesn't matter where Bob is in my team. If Bob has come to me to ask me to do a meeting, obviously I'm going to look at my schedule and see how things work, and especially if they're a new person who's really excited and they're directly underneath me, then that is actually my responsibility as the enroller and the sponsor, if they're on my front line, for me to educate that. It's even educate him. If this is in your policy and procedure manual, that when you sign up, if you're doing this as a business, then you are responsible for training and educating your people in your downline. So Bob is on my front line. Bob, I am his enroller and his sponsor. Enroller is the person who invited Bob to a meeting, or told Bob about the meeting, or told Bob about the oils and got him all excited and closed the deal and signed him up. So therefore I'm the enroller, and the enroller has the bonus of getting a $25 sign up fee for a finder's fee or a referral fee, and they get 25% of the order of Bob. So if Bob gets a premium kit, it's like $160, I will get, as enroller, $25 for Bob, and I will get 25% of his order, which rounds up to be about $60 for me signing up Bob directly underneath me. Now Bob is really excited, and hopefully even in the beginning stages you want to talk to Bob and get Bob really happy, and right away get him to invite his friends and to do maybe a meeting at his house or at his church or at his work or at his center if he is a dentist or a vet or a florist or owns a salon or a massage therapist or what have you. You can get Bob to go ahead and have a meeting. If I do a meeting for Bob, then everyone that Bob invites to the meeting, Bob is enroller. That's how it works. He does the meeting with me. He's the host. I'm the teacher. But everyone that he invites that are his friends, he's now going to be the enroller, and if he chooses, maybe even the sponsor. Now, if Bob is nice enough and we work it out at the beginning, and I say, hey Bob, you know, you live in Washington, D.C., and I have Washington, D.C. people in the area already. I would like to come to D.C. and do a meeting for you, but only under the circumstance that I'm allowed to invite anybody else that lives in the D.C. area to come to this meeting as well. That's my preference. I only teach if it's an open meeting. Some people may have a preference that they will not allow that, but for me, because of my extensive downline, I will only teach on open meetings, and Young Living will make me do open meetings. I have to do so many open meetings per year as a diamond. You guys can do whatever you choose. You could do closed meetings, private meetings, whatever. I'm in a different situation where I have to have open meetings so many times a year to get paid. So I would say to Bob, you know, I will pay my own way to get to Washington, D.C. I will pay for my transportation. Sometimes they will put me up in a hotel to help with my costs, and I usually ask for food while I'm there, and let that be Bob's thing to help me get there because of the expense of getting there. And then when we get there, every single person that Bob has invited to the meeting will go directly under Bob. So let's say these 2 people came and 10 other people. All these other people, Bob gets to be the enroller for every single person that he invites. Anyone that I invite, or if I put it on Facebook or wherever and invite whoever, if I personally invite someone who comes who's never met Bob before, doesn't know anything about Bob, but he just saw something on my Facebook page about this meeting, then obviously I will be enroller, and I will choose where I want to place Bob. But that's the only reason why I would have any enrollers from Bob's meeting. Bob doesn't owe me enrollers for doing a meeting for him. Bob doesn't owe me money for doing a meeting for him. Bob doesn't owe me anything for doing a meeting for him because I'm his enroller, and it's my responsibility to train and educate this person. If you choose not to go to Washington, D.C. to do meetings, then you may not want to sign Bob up. You may want to find somebody else who lives in Young Living that will help support him, because I have people in Australia, England, wherever, and it's my responsibility to get my butt over there and pay my own way to be wherever those people are as enroller and sponsor. So again, in the past few days, I've heard some kind of weird stories about people needing to be compensated for speaking or teaching at their meetings, or to be compensated in enrollers or sponsors, to be compensated in whatever. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You don't give away enrollers for someone coming to your meeting. The only way that I would give away the only way that I would take an enroller for me doing a meeting for Bob would be if I personally invited people that Bob doesn't know that came to the meeting and signed up with me, because of my advertising, and because of my relationship and friendship. Every single person that Bob ordered, and I'm going to stress this again, every single person that Bob invited to this meeting, he will be enroller and sponsor. Now, if Bob invited some other wellness center, let's say this is another wellness center or another friend, and this person invited 10 people that Bob didn't know, then he would be enroller. This person would be this person would be under Bob as enroller and sponsor. And maybe this person invited his mom or his dad or whatever, then this person would be the enroller of who they invited. Does that make sense? So it's his meeting. I'm teaching. He invited this guy, and this guy invited 20 people that Bob would have never ever met any other way, except for this guy brought them to the meeting. That means this person is now enroller because they're his invites. He gets compensated for bringing those people in, not Bob. Bob only gets who he invited. He gets who he invited. I get who I invited. It's who brought them there that is enroller. Now, sponsor is a whole different thing. Sponsor is where you place people. So Bob would sponsor and enroll. Let's say his name's Timmy. Bob sponsors Timmy and enrolls Timmy. Let's say Timmy invited 10 people and all of them wanted to sign up, and Timmy had an opposition to, he's just so busy, he's got 45 other jobs, and he's in the middle of adoption for twin kids in Africa, and he just doesn't want to have anything to do with an MLM and blah, 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 blah. Well, this person, I would talk to him and say, look, if you sign up and you are on Essential Rewards and you become a distributor, not just a member, but you actually get on ER and you stay on ER, then these 10 people that you invited who I want to sign up, right now you're going to get $60 a person. That's $600 you're going to get right now for doing a $100 order. And we're going to put all those people underneath you because they're family members and you want to keep them all together, right? And they get to make money. What if he's like, no, I still don't want to do it. I'm sorry. You can do whatever you want with these people, but I don't want anything to do with that. You make sure and triple check 55 times that he does not want to do it. And if he says no, then yeah, you get those 10 people and you can put them wherever this guy says. That's up to you to talking it out. But, and I have done this in the past where if especially a parent or a kid or a family member, you may still put those people underneath those people just for, for now as an enroller and sponsor, or at least sponsor and you be enroller. So you're taking care of those people and helping him. But there's an agreement there on that. Okay. Does that make sense? Because there are some people, I've done churches who are signed up who just want the oils for themselves. They're not interested in doing an MLM or building. They only want to buy oils every month. And they're totally fine with having meetings and letting you help all these people and educate them. And that's totally fine. But by no means is Bob owed anything for doing a meeting for this guy. And I'm not owed anything for doing a meeting for Bob because that's my responsibility. That's in the disclosure that I am responsible for finding, if I find you and if I enroll you, then I am responsible for education. Now, what is a sponsor? A sponsor is the person who's actually helping, coaching, educating. It's the direct person who's above you. So I may enroll Bob, and he may be, directly underneath him, and he may have people. And yeah, I'm educating because I'm sending out videos, I'm doing voice, I may contact him every now and then and say, how are you doing? I may send out an email about meetings or free Facebook pages or whatever, but ultimately, I'm not the sponsor, so I'm not in charge of having to do everything. I do that because I love educating and I love helping people. But your direct person above you is literally the person who's your sponsor and the person who's supposed to be helping you and educating you personally, letting you know about the meetings, letting you know about getting on Facebook, doing all the things, doing all the legwork is the sponsor. Okay? Enroller is the person who invited you, who got you in. As enroller, you can place someone anywhere in your downline underneath you. I have a coaching system, and so I have coaches that work for me. So I am not personally responsible for every single person. I have like 40 different coaches. I have almost one for every state. In some states I have multiple. So if someone in Montana signs up, I have someone that I will place with them in Montana that I know will take care of them when I can't be in Montana. I will go to Montana and I will teach in Montana and multiple places across the United States because that's my job, to keep training. But ultimately, I put them in the care of someone who's my coach. And you can pick your own coaches, and I've done contracts, and I've talked about all that in my other meetings and other classes. There's you can go in the pinned area for more information on that if you're interested in figuring out how to hire a coach. So just to be clear, I'm the enroller and sponsor. This guy is signed up by him, and Bob signed up Timmy. So Timmy looks to him for all the help and education, not me. Now, I may come do a meeting for Bob in DC, and then the next time I may come and say, okay, Bob, this is my second time. You and I are going to tag team on this one. I'm going to teach so-and-so and you teach so-and-so. And then the third time, if they're asking me to come again, I'm going to be like, no, you're on your own now. You're going to be teaching and or getting your people to help you teach, because you guys got to fly. You got to get on your own. So I'm here to help you until you get out of your diapers. I'm here to do what I can to help you guys and support you, to get you to the right classes that we've already taped, the right information, the right books, and do all those things for resources. But ultimately, I'm training you to be your own guy and helping you to train this guy and to duplicate. I hope that makes sense. So if there are any more questions, please ask me right now. I know there's I don't know how many people are on here. Let me scroll down and see if there's any questions. Watching. Okay. Yes, we're not entitled to anything. Catherine says, I like Bob. Awesome. So I hope this makes this very, very clear, because I guess there's been some confusion on who gets Enroller. I've heard from different people that they think if they teach the class, then that means they get to be Enroller for everybody. If I hear of one person who's doing that, I will personally report you to Young Living and you will lose your account. If I hear any kind of weird bartering where it's like, well, I taught for you, so I should be Enroller for 2 people or 3 people or 4 people or whatever because I made my time to come out there or because I traveled. No. You can be the sponsor and you get paid by the reward of helping all these people, and you get the OGV of all these people, and you get the unilevel for all these people. That is how it works. You don't get paid to go teach for people. Now, if Bob has, had me come teach like 5 times and he's still not teaching, yeah, I might be like, you know what, buddy, you're gonna have to call someone else or do something else, or you may have to pay me because it's been that long, and that's my choice or anybody else's choice. But Bob should not expect me to pay him for coming out to teach his class. The other thing is cross lines and cousins. I've had people who are in Young Living who are not in my downline, and you may get this opportunity too if you get your name out there and you get branded and you become somewhat of an authority in what you're doing. I know people like Malia and Lori and Kelly Kennedy and others who are actually out there teaching either Raindrop or some sort of something, and they're being paid by people in Young Living, all of Young Living, who come to your classes, and you can charge them. But you should not be charging your downline for anything except for expenses to whatever, to gain back to help you get there. I may charge something on an Evite, like 10 or 15, maybe $20 tops to pay for a venue, or to pay for transportation to help me to get there, or what have you. But I am not being Enroller and getting compensated by being Enroller. That is not what you do. And so again, if someone from Young Living who's not in my downline, which I get a lot of requests for people who say, hey, we met you at convention, or we saw your Facebook or whatever, and we would like you to come teach our downline, then yeah, I'm going to have a speaker's fee, you're going to pay my transportation, you're going to pay my hotel, the whole thing. Or I may work out something where I tell the people, you know what, if you let me make it open to everyone on my team too, then I'll only charge you the speaker's fee, and you have to put me up in a hotel and pay my food, or something like that. You work all that out at the beginning, whatever you choose. I was doing this way before I was doing Young Living because I was a speaker for churches. And I do have some churches that have me come speak at their churches that have nothing to do with Young Living, and that's different. If I'm not teaching Young Living or anything having to do with oils, then yeah, I'm going to have a speaker's fee. That's just how it is. But if I'm teaching leadership or anything involving making you better, conscious stuff, mapping, all of those things for your team, and you're in my team, then I will not be compensated by a check or any kind of enrollers, or there's no bartering for that. So I hope this is clear. Now, going back to the crossline thing, we have Caroline, Dana, Danielle. I have multiple people in other cities and states who are all cousins, and cousins meaning they both have me as a mom, or they might be stepkids, or however I don't know how you want to call it, but they're sisters, they're brothers, and I'm the upline, but they are not within, they're not on top of each other, but they're separate legs. Like when Caroline and Dana and Nancy and whoever do meetings, then they just have a piece of paper at the desk when people walk in. And when they walk in, they say, please sign in. They may put their name, their member number. Are you a member already? If so, what's your member number? Maybe you're not a member number? Then you check no. And if no, who invited you? And a place for them to actually express who invited them. Because you may invite someone, and then someone else may invite someone, and someone else may invite someone, but maybe they weren't going to go the 10 times that you've asked them, but they may go with somebody else. Maybe they don't like you and they just don't want to say it. Maybe they don't want to be with you. So again, we have it all written, who came, if they're a member already, and if they're not, put a check for no and who invited you. That way it's super clear at the end of the night when you finished your meeting and you're up there, and what I would usually say at the end of the meeting is, I'm glad you came. Thank you for your time. Now, if you're interested in getting these oils wholesale so you could be a good steward of your money, get with the person who invited you. If it was me, come talk to me. If it was someone else, please get with the person only who invited you. They know who invited them, and they know who they're sitting by usually. And if there's any discrepancy, someone could say, well, I invited them 2 weeks ago. Okay, well, it doesn't really matter. What's on the paper is what matters. So who they choose to be with and who they wrote down is the person that they're going to go to that gets to sign them up. So, and we do that a lot. There's so much love and benefit from teaming up with teams. We do that here in Baton Rouge too. We have lots of people who are all cross teams that come together every Saturday, that we all work together. We learn from each other. We all teach differently. We have different expertise in different things. And it's fun to get to know other people and to learn from each other. So do not ever be concerned about doing meetings with other people and other teams. There's such an energy there that cannot be expressed any other way. So I encourage you guys to do stuff with other people, especially if they're people that you know and trust and or can learn from. We can all learn from each other. So I would make sure that you have some sort of form or paper when you go in and say, again, my name is so-and-so, my email is so-and-so, a phone number maybe. That way, if they didn't sign up, you can send that to all the leaders at the end and email it to everybody and go, hey, here's the list that everybody came. You may want to contact your person and follow up with them. And that way everyone knows who came with who, and there's no discrepancy, there's no argument. It's all written on paper. Okay, I hope this helps. Sponsor Enroller. Enroller is the person who finds the person, who closes the deal and signs them up. Although sometimes you tag team. If I invited you to a meeting, I'm the enroller. If I did a Facebook ad, I'm the enroller. If I did a class personally and put out something in Eventbrite and whatever, and people came because of my advertising and my, because of me, yeah. Ty is doing a meeting in Lubbock, Texas, and she did an Eventbrite, and she gave me the link, and I'm going to post it, and I'm not going to be enroller for anybody unless somebody in Lubbock that she's never met before happens to be seeing that and is like, oh, hey, longtime college friend or whatever, I saw you're doing a meeting in Lubbock, and I'm interested in coming to see you and maybe see what this is all about. Then yeah, I'm going to say, why don't you come to the meeting, and if they sign up, then I'm the enroller and I place them wherever I choose to go. Ty wouldn't have anything to do with that. But I'm still going to use the link and invite people and have them come. As an enroller, I would give them to probably somebody, maybe even Ty as sponsor, or someone on her team as sponsor, since they live close by, and it just makes sense if they're going to continue to do meetings. That would be beneficial to her and to me and everybody, and especially the person. That's the big deal. As a customer and a new member, you want to be in a team of people that already live where you are, and so it makes sense that everybody would be together. It just benefits everyone. Ultimately, you want to do what's best for the person, not what's best for you. Now, that's a good thing I just brought up to myself, because let's say someone did come to Lubbock, but I really, really, really needed 5 more people on this other leg because it's really uneven, and if I move this person to this other leg, then my chances for getting to the next rank would be so much better if I put them over here versus putting them in with Ty and her group. In the end, I promise you, it's way better to put the person in Ty's group in Lubbock with the group of energy and synergy of people who are all doing things together already. It may help me temporarily here, but in the end, this person may feel isolated. They may go to the meetings and not really connect because they're not all together. There's something that's really weird there. Maybe it helped me make that rank that one time, but if they never do anything for the rest of whoever because they don't feel connected, because I'm way over here and she's, quote, by herself attending meetings at times, then that doesn't help me. It helps me more to go ahead and forego the rank this time to get people where they're all together in community and in love and have a synergy, and God will send the right people to be in this other leg to make me to get to the rank that I need to be. I hope that helps you too. Ultimately, you want to keep families together, churches together, friends together. You know, looking back, I wish that Dana and all them had been in a row. You know, it helped me a lot to be able to get where I am, but you know, I think it would have been different. I have my whole family all together, and that's really been helpful, and I always say that people should do that. So anyway, I love you, and I hope this helps. And leaders, please tag your teams. And this is very, very, very important because, again, there's two leaders in specific that I have gotten phone calls on in the last 2 weeks where people were very, very upset about the ethics going on, people taking Enroller for doing classes. And that is super frowned upon. That's not what we do. And if I find out people are doing that, again, I will report you myself. That's just not cool at all, especially if they don't know about it. You can't just take people or talk people into it and badmouth the other people. So I love you guys, and I know we're going to do this right and in love, and we're going to build with integrity because God honors love and integrity. I promise. All of you are Royal Crown Diamond right now. Imagine. By the way, don't forget, everyone in your team needs to sign up at least 1 to 2 people and you get a free rose oil. I'm going to do a drawing. One person's going to win, but who is it? Imagine you signing up, you and everyone on your team signing up 1 person each this month for a chance to win a free rose oil. If you and every person on your team sign up 2 people, you get 2 chances for a rose oil and a chance for an everyday oils kit. So that's kind of cool. All right, if you have any questions, just put it on this thread. I love you, and I will see you on the road. Bye.